And I'm Cooper.
And
we're museum kids. Pretty sure this is like some kind of jug.
I believe that's true.
I think it's a frog watching a tiny cup.
What can you tell me about this?
This looks like it's probably pretty old, and there's some marking on here.
Can you read it?
C.T. Bond, My Chance, and Traders, New Albany.
Oh, that.
Read
that
this
is
word one
fun.
more time. Not merchants, but what?
Merchants?
Merchants.
Oh, I thought that was a Y.
Yeah. C.T. Bonds, Merchants and Traders, New Albany.
So it wasn't too long ago, but very long ago, because New Albany, like new,
Yeah.
and it was originally.
It's really old. This is definitely old Albany because you know this merchant. What is a merchant?
A merchant is like a
A
guy
seller.
who sells you stuff.
That's exactly right. This merchant was the first store in New Albany, C.T. Bond. And he had these
Wow.
little things made. Well, actually, he had something like this made, but it was bigger because what can you put in this?
He made jugs, basically.
Well, he made things to advertise. This is an advertising piece.
Cool.
Yeah, it's also a fantasy piece. Do you know what that is?
So it's fake?
Yes. But it's made after a much larger one. And when I saw this, I thought, what? And then the guy who gave it to me said, it's a fantasy piece. He said, I thought the same thing. Somewhere there's one this big, and they copied it.
They made like a mini version?
They did,
Oh.
but it's nice to know that this is out there. I've got
Yes.
paint on my hand. So,
I feel like the mics are going like.
aren't you gonna ask me where this store was?
Where did this come from?
I'm so glad you
Where
asked.
is the store?
Well, you know where the railroad tracks comes down through the middle of town?
Is it right here?
No, it's right. Like, pretend like this is New Albany, and it comes right down through the middle of town and ends up being the Tanglefoot?
Can I go
Yeah.
press the button?
No. Well, it's right there on Railroad Avenue. That's where this store was. And, you know, it had to be built again because it would burn down one time. You know, the whole town burned down one time.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's called New Albany.
Some people say that, but you know, when you look on the old maps, it was New Albany then too. It's just New Albany, I guess.
Oh, so
New Albany, not.
That's right. And so this was the first merchant in the city of New Albany, and his name was what?
CT
C.T. what?
Bonds.
And you know what happened inside his store?
What?
Something historic. That's where they named Union County. That's right.
History.
History was made
Uh,
inside C.T. Bond's store on Railroad Avenue.
Uh,
I'm enjoying this.
do you know the story of how it, like, was named?
I do know that story because you know what a pioneer is, don't you?
Yes.
You know, they came here from somewhere else. Well, they came here from Union, South Carolina. And there's another aspect to the naming of Union County. It was the union of Pontotoc and Tippah counties. So there's two good reasons for it to be named Union, but wait, there's more. Guess who was living in this town when it became a county?
Albany?
No,
I just said Johnny Appleseed.
those are good guesses,
Johnny
but not.
Frog.
Union soldiers from the Civil War. So
Oh.
Union soldiers, Union, South Carolina, and the Union of Tippah and Pontotoc counties. The votes
Sounds-
are in.
Yeah, the stars aligned for it to be named Union County.
The stars aligned.
Also, a few frogs were there.
Absolutely. And there was a man named Nimrod Wilkins that said, let's just name this Union County. And that was that.
I bet he was paid like $1.
I don't think
'Cause,
he got any money.
At least he got the credit.
He did. He's in the history books. And history was made.
Yes. I'm Caleb.
And we're museum kids.
Bye.